Hi everyone. So, today we are going to discuss the remaining portions of the multiplexing. So, what is multiplexing? So, multiplexing is the wise use of bandwidth in order to achieve the utmost efficiency, privacy, and anti-jamming. So, multiplexing is broadly classified into two, analog and digital. So, analog technique is classified into two, FDM and WDM. So, what is FDM? FDM means frequency division multiplexing, and WDM means wavelength division multiplexing. And next is the today's topic, that is digital multiplexing. That is what time division multiplexing, or otherwise we are calling it as TDM. So, TDM means it is used when the data rate capacity of the transmission medium is greater than the data rate read by the sending or the receiving device. That means if you are sending some bits of data through a transmission medium, and the capacity of the transmission medium which is greater than the data rate which is used by the receiver or the sending device, or otherwise it is defined as, it is a digital multiplexing technique that allows several signals to share the high bandwidth of a link. So here, instead of sharing the bandwidth, here we are sharing the time. So instead of sharing the bandwidth, here we are sharing the time. So here in TDM, signals operate at same frequency but at different times. So in the TDM, here we are using the same frequency but the different times are used. This is how we are using the TDM technique. So in the TDM technique, as in the previous techniques, we are having the mux part and the demux part. Okay. Here, the time slots and frames are arranged. In TDM, incoming signals are divided into equal fixed length time slots. Here you can see the time slots, right? 4, 3, 2, 1, and are the time slots. These are the frames. These combining, these are the frames. So, from this system, the fourth one is sent. That means fourth frame. This one 3, this one 2, and so. So the data flow of each connection is divided into units. Data flow is connected into, so 4, 3, 2, 1 is combined as one complete frame. Okay, 4 is from this center, and 3 is from this center, 2 is this center, and 1 is this center. So 4, 3, 2, 1 togetherly combine into a frame. So that is what here it is written. Link combines one unit of each connection to make a frame. That is, the size of unit may be 1 bit or more bits. So here we are using only 4 systems, right? So here the frame length is 4. If we are using n systems, then the frame length will be n time slots, right? That is here what is written. That is, data rate of a link with n channels is equal to n times the data rate of a single connection. So the time slots are grouped into frames. The time slots are grouped into frames. Inside a frame is one complete cycle of time slot with one slot dedicated to each sending device. Here you can see, that means the whole packet by each center is divided into fixed length of data. That means the whole data, the complete A data is divided into A3, A2 and A1. Here B's data is completely divided into B3 and B2, and C's it is divided into C3, C2 and C1. So in the frame, it is combined in such a way that each frame is 3 time slots. Each time slot duration is 1 second. Okay, each duration is, this is one complete time slot, and one time slot each bit takes t by 3 seconds. That means taking this bit. Okay, C3 from here, then B3, then A3. But in this case, B3, sorry, B2, B1 is not present, so it is left as empty. So packets are divided into fixed length and assigned fixed time slots for transmission. So each divided, sorry, each divided signal and packet which must be transmitted within assigned time slots are reassembled to complete signal at the destination. So here it is transferred into frames, and this is reassembled at the receiver. So next is the interleaving mechanism. So interleaving means, sorry. So interleaving, if we visualize this, the sending part and receiving part are two fast rotating switches, then these switches must be synchronized and rotated in such a way that they must rotate at the same speed but at the opposite directions. So at the multiplexing side, what happens is that as the switches opens in front of a connection, that connection has the opportunity to send a unit into the path. That is, here it is opening the switch, that is opening the switch to the medium. So it has the opportunity to send a unit to the medium. So such process is called interleaving. And at the demultiplexing side, a switch that opens in front of the connection such a way that it is receiving the data from the path. So here comes the synchronization of the data. That means the multiplexer and the demultiplexer should be synchronized. So at the multiplexing part, these three part, that means we have already seen how is this done, and at the demultiplexing part, this is being reassembled as the same as the center has sent. Okay, whatever the sender is sent should be received at the receiver's side. So next is the synchronization. So synchronization means that here in one or more synchronization bits are usually added. That means we are providing a synchronization pattern to achieve the complete synchronization between the multiplexing part and the demultiplexing part. So here we are assigning an extra bit called framing bit. That means we are assigning a bit at the beginning of each frame, which is called the framing bit. That is actually creating the pattern of each frame to frame for the synchronization between the data packets. That is, here we are synchronizing the multiplexer and demultiplexer with this pattern as 10 10 10 and so on. So at the frame 3, there is one, that is this one is being attaching at the beginning of the packet as such a way. Okay. And at the frame 2, this 0 is being attaching as a frame bit at the beginning, and the 1 in this one as this one at the beginning, and so on. This is being synchronized. So next is bit padding. So bit padding means it is possible to multiplex data from devices of different data rates. That means we are having different devices having different data rates. So we can multiplex these different data rates of these devices with different data rates. So when the speed are not integer multiple of each other, that means the speed are not multiples of each other, we have to multiply a certain number to the predefined one in order to achieve what? In order to achieve the padding. So when the speed are not integer multiples of each other, they can be made to behave as of they were by a technique called bit padding. Bit padding is a technique by which synchronizing the uh, data rate, that is the speed of the data rate. That for example, if a device is having 2.75 and we have to match it with the other device, so we are adding enough bits to raise the data rate to 3 times that of other. So next one is statistical or asynchronous or intelligent TDM. It is one of the varieties of TDMs, statistical, asynchronous or intelligent TDM. So what is here? Intelligence means that a slot is assigned to an input source only when the source has some data to send. No empty slots are transmitted. So here there is no empty slots are transmitted. That means empty slots are not able to transmit in this medium. Each frame has less number of slots than the number of lines, and the capacity of link is also than the combined. So here the capacity of each link is less than the capacity of the channel. So here what is intelligent TDM? So here we are having uh, P, Q and R. P is sending the P3, P2, V1, Q2, Q1. So Q3 here it is empty. So empty is not able to send in this TDM. So you can see that R3 and P3 there is no Q3. So there is no empty space for the Q3 provided in the frame 3. Okay, that is what is called intelligent TDM. So these are TDM's two varieties. That means normal TDM is used for long distance communication, and the synchronous TDM is used for high speed transmission. So these are the two types of transmissions, two way in which the TDM is being used. So that's TDM. So next class, we can discuss the remaining portions. That is what error detection and correction. Okay, okay, thank you.